the alveoli as well as the infection of the interstitial tissues which surround the alveoli is known as pneumonia. So there are a list of normal physiological barrier which impair the to become a cause of pneumonia. So these are normally present inside the host. That's why we are not facing the pneumonia in as a general common problem. So there is a factors which affect by the by and any disturbance with these factors may lead to the pneumonia, such as there is a very good resistance of the host in the lower end, means at the alveoli level, and there are number of histocytes and the number of chemical mediator which resist the entrance of the environmental bacteria during respiration. But when there is the resistance of this host is lowered, so the chances of pneumonia are more as compared to the normal healthy adult. And if there is a chronic disease which also lead to the abnormality or anatomical or physiological disturbance of the respiratory tract, so it may lead to the pneumonia. And obviously the immunological deficiencies or immunological state may lead to the pneumonia whenever there is disturbance in immune arm. And sometimes the pneumonia may be caused due to the treatment agent which we are using for the other purpose, such as immunosuppressive therapy and and anti-cancerous treatment, and sometimes it may be due to the deficiency of white blood cell, that is known as the leukopenia. These are normally if there is a balance between these things, so the patient do not face the pneumonia. But whenever there is disturbance or imbalance between these factors, patient is facing the case of pneumonia. There are certain local factors previously which I have discussed is a general factor, but now there are certain local factors which protect and exhale the environmental contamination or bacteria and viruses which we are facing during respiration. So if there is a loss of suppression of the cough reflex, the patient may face the case of pneumonia, or injury to the mucociliary apparatus by either the impairment of ciliary function or destruction of the ciliated epithelium. It is very common with the gas inhalation, and it is common with the blast, and sometimes it is common with the dye making factories, such as in the polythene dyes are using, or the dye making factory, the color factories. So there is continuously fumes are generated at there, and these continuously fume generation may lead to the mucociliary damage. So if there is the defensive mechanism of the local area, that is a mucociliary action is impaired, the patient may face the case of pneumonia or accumulation of secretion in any condition. It is very common when there is a aspirated pneumonia, or sometime in the under the 5-year children, the aspiration of the milk or the food particles, or sometime it is common with the bedridden patient. Interference with the phagocytic or bactericidal action of the alveolar macrophage. It is common with the chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and the leukopenia when there is disturbance in the WBC count. So there is the disturbance and the low level of the phagocytic cells at the alveolar macrophages. So decrease the local defense mechanism may lead to the pneumonia, or sometimes there is pulmonary congestion or edema with is associated with the chronic pulmonary obstructive disease or COPDs. So the patient have already some anatomical defect. Our patient may have some histologically defective cells. So the patient are more prone to develop the pneumonias. Why we are so emphasizing on the pneumonia? Because nowadays we are facing the pandemic of COVID, and the COVID is also causing the community acquired pneumonia, and it gave an alarming situation throughout the world. And the first case is reported in September 2019, and the article has been published and online on March 2020. Or this is basically the alarming situation. So we should initially we think about the common causes of the pneumonia, but now another very common cause, that is a COVID-19, which caused the community acquired pneumonia, and it is confirmed by the chest CT test, because normally we are diagnosed the case of pneumonia by X-ray chest, as well as with some certain types of bacteriological findings, as well as certain types of chemical findings. But how can we differentiate between these cases? So we perform an high resilience diagnostic tool, that is the CT chest, and on CT chest another virus which is culprit and responsible for pneumonia is a COVID-19. Same, then we start the large scale screening to distinguish between COVID-19 and community acquired pneumonia by using infection size awareness classification, because we have broadly classified all the microorganisms, and we have already sufficient data regarding the causes of microorganism and the incidence and prevalence of microorganism causing the community acquired pneumonia. So we should differentiate between the other causes of community acquired pneumonia with the COVID-19. So they start the epidemiological studies, and they are collecting the data from different type of hospitals. So coming to the classification, by classification we can be classified on the clinical setting. There are certain common organism which causing the community acquired pneumonia, and there are certain common organism which is the part of the hospital environment, so they are called as the hospital acquired pneumonia. And hospital acquired pneumonia is further classified the patient which is not ICU based, which is present in the general ward, a patient in ICUs, as well as the patient on ventilator. So further classify the hospital acquired according to the location of the patient. So different type of organism is associated with different place of the hospital setting. And by causative agent, the pneumonia is broadly classified with the bacteria are viral or atypical. The organism which is not fall in the their diagnosis or their presentation is not categorized with the bacteria and viral pneumonia. Otherwise, these are the common virus and bacteria, but they are causing known as the atypical pneumonia. By anatomical location, we can be classified the lobar pneumonia and bronchopneumonia. So I have a question. In COVID-19, ये चैट ऑन है बेटा आप लोगों का, और इन COVID-19 which type of anatomical pneumonia is present? चैट ऑन है बेटा आप लोगों का. There is patchy infiltration of the both the lung, so it is known as the bronchopneumonia, as well as the patchy infiltration of the whole lung. Okay. अच्छा बेटा. अच्छा जी बेटा, गुड. अच्छा, अब अगर बाय डेफिनेशन हम इसको क्लासिफाई करें कि देयर आर सर्टेन बैक्टीरियल कॉज, सो दे आर नोन एज द बैक्टीरियल pneumonia because we are using the antibiotics to treat the patient. So they are commonly known as the pneumococcal pneumonias or streptococcal pneumonias. There are certain atypical pathogens. Mostly these are the bacteria, but they cannot be isolated on routine microbiological techniques. And there may be the fungal pneumonias and there may be the viral pneumonias, because the treatment option is different with the different type of causative agent. So they further classify either there is a bacterial pneumonia, either there is a atypical pathogenic pneumonias, or there are fungal pneumonias and the viral pneumonia. By definition of the location, again, it's a lobar pneumonia and broncho pneumonia. ये lobar pneumonia है, ये broncho pneumonia patchy style का. ठीक है बेटा, ये पैचीज हैं और ये लोबार है, पूरा लोब, लोअर लोब इन्वॉल्व है. By definition acquisition, it's a community acquired pneumonia or hospital acquired pneumonia and ventilator associated pneumonia. These ventilator associated pneumonia is commonly associated with the pathogenic bacteria, and commonly the bacteria which is present in the ventilator instrument machines, as well as the ducting system, as well as the environment of the ventilator rooms. So there are certain risk factors which cause the pneumonia. Extreme ages means the pneumonia is very common in the extreme ages, below the age of 5 years, as well as above the age of 70 years, because in both the extreme ages the immune status of the patient is very low and the patient have the high risk chance of the pneumonia as well as the other diseases. Alcoholism lead to the bronchociliary dysfunction, so it may lead to the chances of accumulation of environmental contamination and may lead to the pneumonia. Same in the case of smoking, it may lead to the chronic change of the mucociliary action, and the ciliated epithelium is completely changed with the squamous epithelium, so it may lead to the pneumonia. Asthma is a chronic disease and which is already involve the alveoli space, and there is a mucus plug stuck in the alveolar space, so it provide a nidus for the growth of the bacteria, so the patient are more prone to develop the pneumonia. Immunocompromise and immunosuppression, instrumentation means on ventilator, or there is a COPDs, or the patient is dementia, because in these all situations patient is not normally behave and the immune arm is very low in all these type of patients. Instrumentation may include the intubation of the chest for any purpose, for pneumothorax or the hydrothorax or the hemothorax due to any situation to maintain the chest pressure. So by instrumentation we are introducing the environmental contamination at the local site and it may produce the pneumonia. So if we are classify, this table is given in your 11th son. So the pneumonia syndrome is a basically combination of different type of bacteria and the virus, and mostly the bacteria. So it is known as the pneumonia syndrome. It including the Streptococcus pneumoniae, H. influenza, Moraxella, atypically is Moraxella catarrhalis or Legionella pneumophila, and Mycoplasma pneumonia, and the Staphylococcus and the Enterococcus. These are the hospital-acquired pneumonias, and Coxiella burnetii is not common here, but it is common in the Western world. And the common virus is the respiratory syncytial virus, parainfluenza virus, and human metallopneumovirus, influenza A and B virus, adenovirus. You can be appreciated that all the viruses which can cause the pneumonia is commonly cause the respiratory tract infection, as well as the common bacteria, Staphylococcus, H. influenza, and the Legionella pneumophila. These are the common organisms which cause the respiratory infection, and these patients are present with the case of pneumonias. So if we classify according to the percentage wise, the most common cause of pneumonia is the Streptococcus pneumoniae, and still we are failed to develop a vaccine against these streptococci, because there is continuously seroconversion of these streptococci, and in UK they are continuously facing the outbreak and the epidemics of the Streptococcus pneumonia, and they are facing the high mortality index with the Streptococcus pneumoniae, and they are continuously doing the trial of the vaccine against the Streptococcus pneumoniae, but still we are failed to produce 100% protection against the Streptococcus pneumoniae. And the other, so it is still the leading cause of pneumonia, that is 40%, and then followed by the H influenza, which is 20%. Then but remaining percentage, that is a 40 and 20, is total 60. And what are how can we make 100%? So there are certain atypical pathogen which can cause the disease in elderly patient in hospital based setting, as well as the patient which have the low immunity. So these can be caused by the Mycoplasma pneumonia, Chlamydia, Pneumophilia, or the pneumonia and Legionella species. So they can be percentage wise. The Legionella is 7%, and Mycoplasma pneumonia is 10%, and the Chlamydia pneumonia is the 6%. Still remaining, we have remaining 16%. So it is caused by the other bacteria. Only 1% is caused by Mycoplasma catarrhalis, and the remaining 16% is caused by the Moraxella catarrhalis, Staphylococcus aureus, Klebsiella pneumonia, and other gram-negative bacilli, especially in the hospital-based setting. You can be appreciate that still the bacteria are the leading cause of pneumonia in all age group, and out of 100%, the 40% is caused by the Staphylococcus pneumoniae and 20% caused by H influenza. But nowadays these graphics is totally changed, and the 90% of hospital-based setting is caused by the COVID-19, and the only remaining 10% is caused by the bacteria and the virus, because we are continuously facing a pandemic situation. So if we categorize according to the percentage wise, bacteria is the most common, and especially the Streptococcus pneumonia, which can cause the 50 to 60% of the cases, than H influenza. Then in the hospital-based setting, Staphylococcus aureus, especially the MRSA, methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, is a leading cause, as well as the gram-negative bacilli, Klebsiella, Protea, Pseudomonas. These can cause the ventilator-associated pneumonia, as well as the hospital or ICU-based pneumonia. And there are miscellaneous 3 to 5% in which the atypical agent may cause the pneumonia. Remaining the atypical agent which can cause the 10 to 20%, in which we are including the Legionella, Mycoplasma pneumonia, and Chlamydia pneumonia. These are basically mostly the disease of the extreme age and the disease of the old person, as well as disease of the immunocompromised person. Only 5 to 15% is caused by the viruses, and only 5 to 10% is caused by the aspiration of or inhalation of certain types of aspirated fluids, as well as the gases, which may lead to the damage of the normal flora and the accumulation of the normal upper respiratory flora in an alveolar space. So according to the etiology, the virus is only to the 13% causes of the overall causes of the pneumonias, and in 13% influenza virus, herpes simplex virus, varicella zoster virus, cytomegalovirus, and measles virus. These are basically the virus which may involve the respiratory tract as their routine, pathogenesis and their pathways. And alhamdulillah, we have a successful vaccine against the influenza virus. So the cases with the influenza virus is very reduced as compared to the bacterial vaccine. अच्छा जी, अब when we talking to the pneumonias, when we are dealing the patient with a different situation, for sending the diagnostic purpose, we can be further classify invalidity patient are the patient which are coming in OPDs or which are shifted to the routine wards and the routine dealing in OPDs. The common cause are the Streptococcus pneumonia, Mycoplasma pneumonia, H influenza, and the respiratory viruses. And in the hospital, which is non-ICUs, but they are hospitalized with the some certain other diseases, may develop the respiratory sign and symptoms, or with the major surgeries or indwelling catheters in the respiratory tract. So there is chances of pneumonia caused by Streptococcus pneumonia, Mycoplasma pneumonia, Chlamydia pneumonia, H. influenza, Legionella, and aspirated pneumonia and respiratory viruses. But when we are talking to the ICUs as well as the ventilator, so we should think about the Streptococcus pneumoniae and Streptococcus pneumoniae, Legionella species, H. influenza, gram-negative bacilli, and Streptococcus. You can be well appreciated that still not in not in nowadays, because we still the leading cause is the COVID-19, but still the data shows that the Streptococcus pneumoniae is a leading cause. That the Streptococcus pneumoniae is still a leading cause of pneumonia in all settings. So if we classify the community acquired pneumonia according to the age, with the different age group, the different common bacteria and the virus is responsible to cause the disease. So from the birth to up to the 3 weeks, if the baby had developed the pneumonia, it is mostly common by the group B streptococci, Listeria monocytogenes, gram-negative bacilli, and cytomegalovirus. The group B streptococci and gram-negative bacilli, these are the two normal flora of the vagina, and the baby may acquire the infection during the delivery. And the cytomegalovirus and Listeria monocytogene is also the part of the flora, and it can be acquired by during the birth. So if a baby develop pneumonia, you should think about the viral pneumonia as well as the group B streptococci pneumonia. So from the 3 weeks to onward up to the 3 months, the baby are more prone to develop the streptococci pneumoniae. And viruses is respiratory syncytial virus, parainfluenza virus, and metapneumovirus, and Bordetella pertussis, and Staphylococcus aureus, and the Chlamydia trachomatis. It's a transnatal exposure. The Chlamydia trachomatis is part of the it is a part of sexually transmitted disease. So if a patient is infected with the Chlamydia trachomatis, it may be acquired during the birth, but their pathogenesis and their onset is very slow. The baby may develop pneumonia after 3 weeks. And the Bordetella pertussis is a common cause of the pneumonia. So we have been started the vaccination of the Bordetella pertussis at the DPT to cure and to prevent the cause of pneumonia. Oh, okay. From the 4 month to the 4 year, now the baby have been started to expose to the environment. So the common cause is the Streptococcus pneumonia. Viruses is the parasyncytial virus, parainfluenza virus, influenza virus, adenovirus, rhinovirus, and the metallo-pneumonia virus. So and other causes of the Mycoplasma pneumonia and group A is Streptococci. These are the common cause of the pneumonia from the age of 4 months to 4 years. Now coming to the 5 year to 15 years. So the it is more commonly by the Streptococcus pneumoniae, Mycoplasma pneumonia, and Chlamydia pneumonia. These infection is common with the immunocompromised patient, or whenever there is the nutritional deficiency, or when there is a comorbid. And because this is the time for the healthy adults, so if in healthy young adults, so the causes of pneumonia is very rare. Acha ji, pneumonia in adult. So the leading cause is pneumonia in adult. Nowadays is the COVID-19. Then other is the Streptococcus pneumoniae, Mycoplasma pneumoniae, Chlamydia pneumoniae, Haemophilus influenza, respiratory viruses, and the miscellaneous by the Legionella species, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, and certain systemic fungus may lead to the cause the community-acquired pneumonia in elderly patients. So what is the main sign and symptoms? How we can be differentiate in OPD or in emergency, the patient may have the pneumonia. Generally, the patient have high-grade fever, sometimes chills, and the patient may have complaint of the headache, loss of appetite, mood swings due to the respiratory compromise. Our skin sometimes there is a claim calminess and the bluish skin due to the oxygen base disturbance or the saturation disturbance, and the BP is low, so there is a gas exchange is disturbed, so the patient may have the low vascular pressure and the high rate, obviously vice versa, if there is a low blood pressure the heart rate is increased. Okay, and in the gastric presentation, the patient baby may have the patient is present with the nausea, vomiting, or sometimes if there is a comorbid patient may have complaint. It's an acute emergency, so patient may have joint pain. But when we are doing the local examination of the lung, patient may have the cough with sputum or shortness of the breath, pleuritic chest pain, or sometimes hemoptysis, and patient is completely fatigued and act. So after journal sign and symptom, we can be able to diagnose a patient of pneumonia by the shortness of breath and as well high heart rate and the pleuritic chest pain, as well as there is a wheeze and the crepitation in the pleural cavity. अच्छा जी, अब कमिंग टू अ स्पेसिफिक ऑर्गेनिज्म में बार बार आपको बताई जा रही हूँ कि 40% 60% द कॉज इज कॉज बाय द स्ट्रेप्टोकोकस pneumoniae. That's why it is very important to understand and memorize for your exam. So it's a leading cause of pneumonia in particularly elderly or chronically ill patient. So if we are doing the horse job in medicine as well as in surgery and ICUs, so we should think about the streptococci pneumonia, and it should be in on our fingertip. So it caused the after the damage of the upper respiratory tract, it may lead to the pneumonia, or sometimes it is secondary to the bacteremia, meningitis, or middle ear infection. So the streptococcus pneumonia may be the common cause of bacteremia, meningitis, and middle ear infection. So from here, patient may develop the secondary pneumonias by these diseases. So it's up till now there are 80 virulent strain of the Streptococcus pneumoniae, or it have a polysaccharide capsule. Initially, we develop a vaccine against this polysaccharide capsule, but it does not produce protection. It is only produce protection up to 40% because there are 80 virulent strain up till now. So it is very difficult to develop a vaccine against this Streptococcus pneumoniae. There is a C carbohydrate, anticoic acid, and nemolysine and IgA proteases, and by repelling the IgAs at the local immune defense is defective, so patient may develop the severe case of pneumonia within a few days. So it's you can be well, which is lined by the alveolar cells, and it is supported by the tissue histiocytes, which is a macrophages. And it's if there is no damage of the continuity and there is a full defense mechanism provided by the ciliary movement as well as by the tissue histiocyte, that is the macrophages, so there is no chances of pneumonia. But When we are saying it is pneumonia, that is infiltration of the bacteria and infiltration of the defense mechanism, that is the WBC, neutrophil, macrophages, and and there is a release of certain factors, the platelet activating factor, tissue damage factors, tissue necrotic factors, and there is accumulation of these bacteria or the culprit agent inside the interstitial spaces will lead to the lobar pneumonia. It's a totally lobar pneumonia. It's involving the lower, complete lower lobe. So there is by this there is a reflex mechanism of inflammation. So there is a fluid in the alveolar space which is known as pneumonia. So how we make a diagnosis? Shukar Alhamdulillah, we have a complete diagnostic tool to diagnose a case of Streptococcus pneumoniae, and so we can send the sample with the pus, a bronchial aspiration, or sometime if it is secondary to the meningitis CSF, for the direct gram staining and the culture, as well as we have the serological testing to against the detection of the capsular antigen. This is the basically the gram positive diplococci. So these are you can be well appreciate the diplococci. एक मिनट बेटा बताती हूँ. ये देखिए आप डिप्लोकोकाई है, it is have well circumscribed capsule. अभी मैं आपको कैप्सूल दिखाती हूँ. ये देखिए ये कैप्सूल है इसका, ये डिप्लोकोकाई है, ये इस तरह से हमें दिखते हैं. ये देखिए डिप्लोकोकाई है, it have a well circumscribed capsule. अच्छा जी, on microbiology, how we make a diagnosis, because it belongs to the Streptococci family, so there is it's not optogen sensitive. अगर होगा तो that's mean it is a Streptococcus pneumoniae. Otherwise, if it is not sensitive to the optogen disc, so means it is Streptococci, but other than the Streptococci pneumoniae. ये देखिए हम इसको क्वेलिंग रिएक्शन से देखते हैं. ये देखिए हमने क्वेलिंग रिएक्शन करा फॉर स्पेशली फॉर द आइसोलेशन ऑफ द कैप्सूल. सो it is the swelling of the capsule is done by the different our techniques. So it is 100% confirmation of the Streptococcus pneumoniae. You can be appreciated there is a diplococci lancet. Basically the kidney bean shape होते हैं, लेकिन ये इस तरह से appear होते हैं opposite to each other. और ये देखिए इसके around में capsule है. So what is the prevention? It's only the strong your immune arm. Because the vaccine containing the multiple serotype, still we are unable to give 100% cure against the Streptococcus pneumoniae. Coming to the other 20% cause of pneumonia is the Haemophilus influenza. So basically it's a gram negative Coccobacilli. So that's why it is not categorized, and it is well differentiated, and it have a well differentiated colony morphology, and we can be appreciate easily on an culture media. And up till now it have a 6 serotypes, and the serotypes is classified according to the alphabetically A, B, C, D, E, and F, and it's required a certain specific factor for their growth. So they can be easily grow on an chocolate agar, because it required the X and V factor, which is present in the sheep RBC, and in blood agar is where the sheep RBC is in their form. So there is no free V and X factor. So to heat that blood agar, we make the chocolate agar to release and free release of the X and V factor for the growth of H influenza. So the most common type of the H influenza is the B, which is well known as a common pathogen of the community-acquired pneumonia. But sometimes there is a sporadic outbreak of different serotypes of the Haemophilus influenza. The most common manifestation of the H influenza cases is the pneumonia as well as the meningitis. And the Haemophilus influenza type B may also cause the pharyngitis, epiglottitis, sinusitis, otitis media, cellulitis, septic arthritis, and conjunctivitis. So it may involve the other organ, and it may involve the upper respiratory as well as the oropharynx. So it may lead to the secondary pneumonia, from the primary disease. The meningitis is common in the young children associated with the high incidence of neurological complication, post pneumococcal neurological complication for ranging from the hearing loss or subtle mental retardation. That's why we have a vaccine against this H influenza. So severe, it's have a several virulent factor, especially it have antiphagocytic capsule, which is not well differentiated, but it have an antiphagocytic capsule and endotoxins, it have an IgA protease, and it have a pili for their attachment. So the immune clearance requirement protect antibodies to the capsule for to facilitate opsonization. So it is easily diagnosed on laboratory, especially on a chocolate agar. So we are using, sometimes we are using the XNB factor for their spatial growth to isolate the specific H. influenza, because it is very fastidious bacteria. And the treatment option is the proper antibiotic. Especially the third generation cephalosporin, and it is not developed still up till now, not developed the resistance to many of the antibiotics. So we can be use a broad spectrum antibiotic and sometimes rifampicin as a chemoprophylaxis to expose the family member when there is a sporadic epidemics of the H influenza. And we have a vaccination, and we are giving to vaccination, and vaccination has been repeated after every 6 months, especially in the some winter seasons. Acha ji, coming to the atypical pneumonia. Atypical pneumonia is caused by the Legionella pneumophila. It's basically physically gram-negative loss caused by the atypical pneumonia. So when we are asking the list of organism which causing the atypical pneumonia, so the in atypical pneumonia, Legionella pneumophila is the leading cause, and it's basically the fastidious aquatic microorganism. What does aquatic mean? Where it found? Beta, basically it's a part of the environment, so it is found in the water surfaces. So it is present in the air conditioned system and the ducting system, present in the ICUs and the ventilators rooms, and it is present in the OTs. So we should be maintain the QC of the environment of these ducting places. It is present in the complete ventilated rooms, as so we should be monitor the QC of the environment of the hospital to prevent the spread of Legionella pneumophilia in the environment. Now, normally we are not doing the culture of these Legionella pneumophilia because it is atypical pneumonia. It required high type of agar, which is not routinely practiced. So it's easily grown the Bekai agar, but it is only for the research purpose, and we are not using the Bekai agar in a routine practice. So it's a freely living. It's a Legionella pneumophilia is amoebic in water and become resistant to action of the disinfectant. So it's transmitted by the inhalation by aerosol containing bacteria. It's a pulmonary defense is when there is reduced. Clinically, there are two forms of the disease, including the Pantoic fever and the Legionella disease. So the Pantoic fever is a mild disease, and comparing to the Legionella disease is a more severe form, which characterized by the fever, dry cough, and the multifocal necrotizing atypical pneumonias. Okay, there is a major virulence mechanism involved the cell wall endotoxins and the ability to parasitize and survive in the alveolar macrophages. So it's basically retard to the alveolar macrophages function. So it's reside in the alveolar macrophages. So there is defective in the immune arm, and there may lead to the defect in the immune clearance of the microorganism from alveolar space. So it lead to the inflammatory response. We are using the high cysteine and the iron containing baggy agar for their growth, and so we are not doing such expensive tests, so we are directly goes to detect the antigen detection by serological technique or the direct microscopy with the silver stain or direct fluorescent antibodies against, and then we go for the culture. So basically we are performing the serological testing for detection of the antigen by ELISA and we can directly detect the antigen antibody reaction by fluorescent technique. So basically it is not resistant to most of the antibiotics, so we can be treated with the broad spectrum antibiotic with the erythromycin group, tetracycline, azithromycin, levofloxacin is successfully, and we can be identified from the contaminated source, that is a water. So we can be hypochlorinated to reduce the bacterial load, as well as we can clean the ducting system and ducting the system, as well as we can use the radioactive, we can use the fluorescent light to clean the OTs, as well as we can use the disinfect the surfaces, as well as disinfect the ducting system in ventilators room. Coming to the opportunistic pneumonia, means it is normally present, but when it get an opportunity, it causes the pneumonia, and the opportunistic pneumonia is commonly caused by the Klebsiella pneumonia. So it's a basically gram-negative, large, and it's provide a mucoid colony. But I'm not discussing all the organism. I'm only discuss the common organism in each group. So basically, opportunistic pneumonia is commonly caused by the Klebsiella pneumonia, and the Klebsiella pneumonia is found in the soil and water, and as well as it is a part of the normal flora of the large intestine. So it can be colonized in the oropharynx in uncommon, but can be occur in individual with a compromised host defense. So from there, it can be aspirate an organism. That's why it's a part of the normal flora, but it can, whenever it get an opportunity, it cause pneumonia. So it is called as opportunistic pneumonia. You can be well appreciated the mucoid colonies on McConkey agar, and it is looking like the spread colonies, and there is not well differentiated colonies, so it's appear as sticky mucoid colonies. So clinically, the patient it have a variety of the virulent factor, including the cell wall, endotoxin, a thick mucoid capsule, and a variety of proteases. So it is resistant to many antibiotics, but still, so the sensitivity should be required. And we can perform the gram staining, blood culture, antigen detection in sputum, fluorescent method, immunoelectrophoresis, or latex agglutination test, and ELISA, because it is an opportunistic and it have a very high mortality index. So for this, we can be directly go for the PCR for Mycoplasma pneumonia for throat swab and sputum. We can be culture from urinary and serological entity detection of the Legionella, and we can go for the urinary antigen detection for the Streptococcus pneumoniae, and we can go for the C-reactive protein, which is commonly high. This is your last slide. Basically, the patient are very sick and it should be treated properly. So in microbiology, all the isolate of pneumococcus should be tested for minimally inhibitory concentration for antibiotic sensitivity. So we are performing the MIC against the penicillin extended spectrum cephalosporin, because the treatment should be accurate according to the cause, and otherwise it can lead to the high mortality and morbidity index. So this is the review. On X-ray chest, you can be well appreciated if there is a lobar pneumonia, though you should think about the Streptococcus pneumoniae and Klebsiella pneumoniae, H influenza, and gram-negative rod. If there is a patchy infiltration, you should think about the atypical pneumonia and viral pneumonia, and of course, I am not missing the COVID-19. And if there is an interstitial pneumonia, there is a haziness of the whole lung, that should think about the viral pneumonia, legionella, and the other causes of pneumonia. If there is a cavitation, you should think about the anaerobic bacteria, Klebsiella, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, Staphylococcus aureus, and obviously there is a cavitation. So cavitation is produced by the Mycobacterium tuberculosis and the fungus, and sometimes it can be produced by the anaerobic bacteria. Thank you, beta. Now I'm ready for your question. चले बेटा जी, चैट ऑन है आप लोगों का। आप लोगों को जो भी क्वेश्चन है आप मुझसे पूछ सकते हैं। ये मैंने आपको लिविंगस्टन में आपका चैप्टर है इन्फेक्शियस डिजीजेस, उसमें अपर रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक्ट इन्फेक्शन है एंड लोअर रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक्ट इन्फेक्शन है, ये मैंने वहां से आपका लिया है। यस बेटा, जी हाँ, माइकोप्लाज्मा और जो कैटारलिस है इस एटिपिकल नमूनिया, इट्स नॉट कॉमनली कॉज नमूनिया की कैटेगरी में होता है। क्या आप उससे रीड कर सकते हैं? ये सारे के सारे ऑर्गेनिज्म उन्होंने उसमें दी हुई है, लिस्ट करा हुआ है। बेसिकली माइकोप्लाज्मा जो कैटारलिस होता है, ये आई इन्फेक्शन करता है, अपर रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक्ट इन्फेक्शन करता है। सो इट्स नॉट कॉमनली कॉज डिजीज एट द लोअर रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक्ट, सो दैट्स व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड एटिपिकल नमूनिया। ये कॉमनली आई इन्फेक्शन करता है, रेस्पिरेटरी इन्फेक्शन में अपर रेस्पिरेटरी करता है और जेनिटल ट्रैक्ट इन्फेक्शन करता है। बेटा जो स्टेटिक्स तो हम बेसिकली पूछते नहीं है, क्योंकि स्टेटिक्स डे बाय डे चेंज होती रहती है। आज कोई आर्टिकल पब्लिश होगा आज की डेट में, तो अगर अगर पेपर आज बनेगा तो जाहिर बात है हम आज ही पूछ रहे हैं। लेकिन नॉर्मली वी आर नॉट जो रिसर्च पेपर होते हैं या स्टैटिक्स होती हैं जो कि बुक्स में गिवन होती है, हम उसी को फॉलो करते हैं, क्योंकि बुक्स जो है वो स्टैंडर्ड है आपके लिए। और इस तरह से तो वही वाली बात है कि आजकल इंडिया में कोविड की सिचुएशन वर्स्ट है। तो अगर मैं आज पेपर बनाऊंगी और 4 दिन में अल्लाह ना करे कि हमारे यहाँ वर्स्ट हो जाएगी, तो इसमें दोनों में डिफरेंस आ जाएगा ना। तो हम कभी भी स्टैटिक्स के ऊपर नहीं करते। हाँ, जैसे कोई क्रॉनिक डिजीज है, जैसे टीबी है, उसका स्टैटिक तो स्टेडिली स्टेट है, ठीक है। और जैसे हेपेटाइटिस बी है, उस हेपेटाइटिस सी है, उसका स्टेडिली स्टेट है, ठीक है। यानी उसमें कोई इतनी पेंडेमिक नहीं आ रही है, वो कंटिन्यूसली स्पोरेडिक है, एंडेमिक है थ्रू आउट द वर्ल्ड। लेकिन जो पेंडेमिक टाइप की सिचुएशन है, उसमें हम कभी भी स्टेटिक्स के बारे में क्वेश्चन नहीं करते। ये तो जस्ट फॉर योर नॉलेज आपको बताया गया है कि ये है, और जो बुक्स में स्टेटिक्स दी हुई है हम उसी को फॉलो करते हैं, क्योंकि हमें रेफरेंस देना होता है बेटा बीसीक्यू के साथ।